Now, one thing that came out recently that it kind of took people back was a lot of people figured that LeBron James's his final resting spot would have been Chicago. A lot of NBA experts say that that was actually a better fit and ultimately a better team because it was more complete. It had more of the role players around there. But he didn't go because the Bulls organization said they weren't going to take his posse. They weren't going to have him on the team plane. They weren't going to hire him in the organization. They weren't going to have his family on the team plane. And their rationale was they didn't do it for Michael Jordan. They weren't going to do it for LeBron James. Now, obviously, if he did sign with Miami, they're fine with all of that. But that kind of stuff, if I was a Miami Heat, I'd be a little concerned because a lot of people in Cleveland, obviously it's after the fact, are talking about how, you know what, his entourage was not exactly the most positive force in the locker room and in the organization.
Yeah, I agree. I can see how people see it that way, but at this point, you're certainly going to take the best player in basketball right now, the most talented player in basketball right now. He hasn't won a championship, which a lot of people point to, but really in his past, they haven't surrounded him with another superstar. And in this league, you have to win with two stars. It's happened every year. The Lakers had 3 and 4 stars this year. I don't think it's going to be an issue. Pat Riley can manage these egos on this team. Obviously, by him coming down here over all those other options means that he values winning a championship more than anything else, more than legacy and all of that. So when it comes down to it, they're going to put everything else aside and play basketball with the goal of winning multiple championships.
Now, a lot of you talk about legacy. A lot of people are talking about that this has tarnished LeBron James's legacy, and that ultimately, if they do win titles, he have done it with Dwayne Wade. He couldn't do it by himself. He couldn't be an MJ and be the leader. He had to surround himself with talent. Talk about what you feel LeBron James is thinking in terms of his legacy. Does he not care, or does he ultimately feel that if he wins 5 championships over the next couple years or whatever, then that will overshadow any sort of negative feeling people have about him right now?
I mean, to me, I don't think he has that same mentality as a Kobe Bryant or a Dwayne Wade or a Michael Jordan. He doesn't have that killer mentality. At least he hasn't shown so far in his 7-year career, and that's okay. I mean, everybody obviously is dubbing this guy, comparing him to Jordan, comparing him to Bryant. But really, it's up to him. And if he doesn't want the opportunity, I don't think after him coming to Miami, he might not necessarily go down as the greatest ever, but he's certainly already one of the all-time greats. He's just an amazing talent, and the most unique thing about LeBron to me is that he can play positions 1 through 5. I mean, you can stick him at point guard, center. That's how talented this guy is. And I think he wants to win a ring. I think he's tired of 7 years of almost getting there, and he almost got there a couple years ago, and this year is just a disappointment. A lot of things going on off the court, obviously, but I think he just flat out wants to win, and I don't think he cares what anybody thinks about what his legacy is going to be.
Now, in looking at LeBron James's game, a lot of people feel that his game won't translate into an upper echelon player in his early 30s because really, a lot of people feel that he's just a physical freak. He can jump out of the building, but he won't turn into an MJ in the sense that, you know, how MJ had that kind of, Michael Jordan had that kind of jump out of the building and natural athletic ability, but transitioned to more of a jump shooter, transitioned to more of that team leader. Do you feel that LeBron can adjust his game to when his overall athleticism and his explosiveness starts to go downhill?
Absolutely. I mean, he's already shown plenty of skill that he could survive in this league at a dominant level, regardless if his athleticism slows down. He's a sensational passer, much better passer than Jordan or Bryant ever was. And I think he's going to use that to his advantage. I can see him averaging double-digit assists this year. He's going to play a lot of point forward, especially with the Heat's current point guard situation. But he's also a freak. I mean, this guy might turn out to have the same body and same athleticism 4 and 5 years from now. We just don't know. There's never been an athlete like LeBron, and you just don't know what to expect. The future could be the same as what's been going on lately. He could dominate the game athletically for the next, 10 years. We just don't know. He's that gifted.
Now, Josh, last question. He's signed for 5 years. This group is signed together for 5 years. Take me to 5 years from now. This team being put together was a success if they do what? How many championships? What do they have to do? Do they have to win 4 or 5? I mean, what, in your opinion, do they have to do for this to be a successful marriage of these guys?
I mean, putting these 3 caliber players together raises the bar really, really, really high, obviously, and anything less than a championship is going to be a disappointment because there's that much pressure on these guys, and they know that. They wouldn't have taken this step if they didn't know that they were going to be placed in that championship category. I mean, they're number 1 in Vegas right now with odds to win it all. I think anything less than 3 rings over the next 5 years is a huge disappointment, especially with 2 of the top 3 in the game right now and Wade and LeBron on the same team.
I hear you. Well, thank you very much. It's MIASportsGuy.com. When the Steelers play the Dolphins or Pitt's going to play Miami this year, should be a big game. You know what? You got to check out this guy. He's actually went to Penn State, so he has a little bit of Western Pennsylvania in him. Thank you very much, Josh, for the conversation.
Thanks a lot for having me. It's been fun.
All right.